A shocking clue may have just changed everything we thought we knew about the current drama consuming General Hospital. Right now, everyone is entirely fixated on the explosive court case between Curtis and Isaiah. We have all seen the escalating tension, the physical altercations, and the bitter legal battle that threatens to send Curtis to Pentonville. But something isn't adding up anymore. The sheer intensity of this feud feels like a massive misdirection, a smokescreen designed by the writers to distract us from a much larger, far more devastating truth. If you ask me, we are all looking in the wrong direction. The real story isn't about an assault charge or a courtroom rivalry. The real story is about a newborn baby boy named Desmond and a mother who is desperately trying to keep a lid on a secret that could blow her entire world apart. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, and it all revolves around the true paternity of Porsha's child. Let us take a step back and look at the clues that are practically screaming at us. Curtis continues to stubbornly refuse any plea deal for his assault on Isaiah, fully prepared to risk his freedom rather than back down. On the other side, Isaiah is aggressively pushing this narrative, refusing to admit that his own calculated insults and provocations pushed Curtis over the edge in the first place. But why are these two men so fiercely territorial? It all comes down to Porsha and baby Desmond. Now, here is the detail that could expose the truth. Porsha's incredibly erratic behavior. She has been bouncing between pushing Curtis away, cutting off direct contact with him, and suddenly considering changing her testimony to save him from prison. Why the sudden shift? Why the desperate need to control every single narrative surrounding this baby? Her actions are not just those of a stressed new mother. They are the actions of a woman terrified that someone is going to look too closely at the situation. The clue lies in the DNA, or rather, the distinct lack of undisputed, transparent DNA evidence regarding baby Desmond. Porsha is a high-ranking doctor at General Hospital. She knows exactly how to manipulate hospital systems, how to restrict access to medical files, and how to keep prying eyes away from the truth. We have seen her do it before. Remember the decades of lies regarding Trina's paternity? Porsha has a proven track record of burying paternity secrets deep underground. When you look at her current panic, her desire to keep Curtis and Isaiah at odds makes perfect sense. As long as they are busy tearing each other apart in a courtroom, neither of them is focused on demanding a new, independent DNA test. She is using their toxic rivalry as a shield to protect her ultimate secret. It may not be a coincidence that she is keeping everyone in a state of high anxiety. Now, let us start connecting the dots. If this detail is true, if Porsha is actively hiding the real paternity of baby Desmond, that could explain a lot about the bizarre pacing of this storyline. It explains why Isaiah is so deeply invested in destroying Curtis rather than just focusing on the child he believes might be his. It explains why Porsha goes into a literal panic every time the two men are in the same room or whenever the topic of the baby's future is brought up. But what happens if the unthinkable occurs? What if Curtis and Isaiah finally realize that they are both being played like absolute fools? Imagine a scenario where the courtroom drama reaches a boiling point, and instead of destroying each other, they suddenly realize that the timeline, the medical records, or Porsha's own slip-ups do not make any sense at all. That is where things become extremely interesting. If you ask me, the ultimate twist would be Curtis and Isaiah putting their massive egos and bitter hatred aside to form a temporary, highly volatile alliance. Think about it, guys. Curtis has already lived through the nightmare of being denied his child. He knows Porsha's capacity for deception better than anyone else in Port Charles. If he gets even a slight inkling that the DNA results for Desmond were altered or hidden, he will not rest until he finds the truth. And Isaiah, for all his arrogance, is a medical professional who would not take kindly to being used as a pawn in Porsha's twisted, manipulative game. If these two men team up to hunt down the original, unaltered DNA test results for Desmond, they are going to unearth a secret that has the power to destroy everything. This brings us to the massive, earth-shattering theory that changes the entire landscape of General Hospital. The big reveal theory is this: Desmond is not Curtis's son, and he is not Isaiah's son either. Porsha has been playing a dangerous game of roulette, letting these two men fight over a child that belongs to a completely different man from her past. I believe the show is gearing up for a monumental twist, preparing to bring a character out of the shadows to claim his rightful place as Desmond's father. If this secret is exposed, the revelation that Porsha had a completely separate secret affair will turn the entire canvas upside down. This is the emotional core of the story, the truth that will shatter families and redefine relationships for years to come. So, the bigger question is, who is the real father? Let us look at the potential candidates. My first theory points directly to the mysterious new arrival, Hudson. We know Hudson is a powerful business executive who just arrived in Port Charles looking for a specific person. What if the person he is secretly connected to is Porsha? It may not be a coincidence that a wealthy, mysterious man arrives in town exactly when Porsha's life is in maximum chaos. If the writers reveal that Hudson and Porsha had a passionate, secret romance months ago, it would instantly integrate this new character into the core fabric of the show, giving him ties to the hospital, the mob through Curtis's connections, and the Ashford family. It would be a seamless way to launch Hudson into front burner status. But there may be more to this story. My second theory involves Dr. Tristan Roberts. Yes, I know Tristan is a relatively new face at General Hospital, currently clashing with Britt Westbourne and laying down strict rules. But this is a soap opera, and retcons are the name of the game. What if Tristan was actually operating in the background of Port Charles long before his official debut? What if he and Porsha crossed paths at a medical conference or shared a secret rendezvous in an on-call room when she was feeling neglected by Curtis? Revealing Tristan as the father would instantly elevate his character from a simple foil for Britt into a central figure in a massive family dynasty drama. It is a bold move, but certainly not impossible in the dramatic world of Port Charles. However, the theory that I am absolutely obsessed with, the one that would truly break the internet and send fans into an absolute frenzy, is the triumphant return of Marcus Tagert. Guys, it has been far too long since we have seen Taggert on our screens, and his absence has left a massive hole in the canvas. Think about the poetic justice, the sheer dramatic irony of this scenario. For years, Taggert believed Trina was his biological daughter, only to have his heart completely shattered when Porsha's lies were exposed and Curtis was revealed as the true father. What if the universe and the writers are about to flip that script entirely? What if Taggert is the one who gets to step out of the shadows and claim the child that Curtis thinks is his? Picture this unforgettable scene. Curtis and Isaiah are in the middle of a screaming match in the hospital corridor, demanding the truth from a cornered, weeping Porsha. She is backed against the wall, running out of lies. Suddenly, the elevator doors slide open. The camera pans up from a pair of polished shoes, and there stands Marcus Tagert. He doesn't say a word at first. He just walks slowly toward the group, holding a manila folder containing the undeniable, unaltered DNA proof. He looks dead in Porsha's eyes, then turns to Curtis and Isaiah, and calmly announces that Desmond is his son. A moment like that would send absolute shockwaves through General Hospital. It would be the ultimate revenge for Taggert, not just reclaiming a child, but exposing Porsha's bottomless capacity for betrayal in front of the men she has been manipulating. If this theory is true, the aftermath will be nothing short of apocalyptic for these characters. Let us start with Curtis. Who stands to lose everything? Curtis does. He has already been wrestling with the darkness, facing prison time, and fighting tooth and nail for a child he believes is his flesh and blood. To find out that Porsha lied to him again about another child would completely break him. The betrayal would be so profound that I cannot see any scenario where their marriage survives. Curtis would be left with a shattered heart, facing assault charges for a fight over a baby that isn't even his. He would lose his family, his freedom, and his sanity, all in one devastating blow. Then we have Isaiah. Who is the one being played for an absolute fool? Isaiah. His entire arrogant crusade against Curtis is built on the foundation that he is the wronged party, the true father fighting for his rights and his dignity. If Taggert or Hudson steps forward with the real DNA test, Isaiah's massive ego will be crushed into a million pieces. He will realize that his provocations, his injuries, and his legal threats were all for absolutely nothing. He was just a convenient distraction for Porsha, a pawn to keep Curtis busy while she hid the real truth. Isaiah would have to walk away with nothing but a bruised face and a shattered reputation. And what about Porsha? Who will face the ultimate reckoning? Porsha is going to face a fallout of biblical proportion. She can deny the suspicions all she wants. She can deflect, she can cry, she can beg for understanding. But the more she tries to bury this secret, the more explosive the revelation will be. Trina, who has already been pushed to her absolute limit by her mother's endless drama, might finally cut ties with Porsha forever. Trina just demanded space to focus on her music, and discovering that her mother repeated the exact same horrific lie with a new baby would destroy whatever fragile trust remains between them. Porsha would be left completely isolated, despised by Curtis, rejected by Trina, and exposed as a serial manipulator to the entire town of Port Charles. We may be looking at the beginning of something huge, a storyline that will redefine the Ashford family for years to come. The truth could be closer than anyone realizes, hiding right there in a locked medical file or waiting to walk through the doors of General Hospital in the hands of Marcus Tagert. Someone may not be ready for what is coming next, and that someone is Porsha Robinson. Of course, this is all my personal investigation and theory crafting, not confirmed spoilers, but the clues are lining up perfectly. What do you guys think? Are you dying to see Marcus Tagert return to claim baby Desmond? Or do you think Hudson or Tristan is the secret father? Drop your thoughts below, because this mystery is only just beginning.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.